Imagine finding a ship, a large vessel, drifting silently across the open Atlantic Ocean. No damage, no signs of struggle. Food still sitting on the table, warm as if someone had just stepped away. And yet, not a single soul on board. This is not a story someone invented. This actually happened. The year is 1872. The world moved differently back then. Slower, quieter. Crossing an ocean meant weeks at sea. No radio, no signal, nothing but water and wind and the sound of the hull cutting through waves in the dark. For those who lived on the sea, a ship was everything. It was home. It was livelihood. It was life itself. And among the thousands of vessels that sailed in that era, one name would eventually be remembered above all others: the Mary Celeste. She was a brigantine, 282 tons of oak and iron, launched in 1861 off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada. Nothing remarkable about her appearance. Two tall masts reaching into the sky. A sturdy hull that had crossed the Atlantic more times than anyone cared to count. But there was something about this ship, something that seemed to follow her. In the first 10 years of her life, the Mary Celeste had already changed hands several times. She had run aground on the rocks, suffered serious damage in a storm. One of her captains had died on her deck, and at one point, she was declared unseaworthy, stripped down, repaired, and quietly sold again. A ship that was never quite lucky. And yet, in November of 1872, one man decided to trust her. His name was Benjamin Spooner Briggs, 37 years old, a captain of considerable reputation, known for being calm, disciplined, and deeply religious. He came from a family of seafarers and had spent most of his life on the water. He was not a man who took risks lightly, but this voyage, he would not be making alone. Benjamin brought his wife with him, Sarah Elizabeth Cobb, a quietly strong woman who had learned long ago not to fear the sea, and their daughter, little Sophia Matilda, just 2 years old, barely old enough to walk steadily across a moving deck. This was not unusual for the time. Captains often brought their families on long voyages. A ship was home, after all. And Sarah, she was not afraid. In fact, just days before their departure, she wrote a letter to her mother. Her tone was light, easy, almost cheerful. "We have a fine ship," she wrote. "I hope this will be a pleasant voyage." No one knew. It was the last letter she would ever send. On the morning of November 5th, 1872, the Mary Celeste slipped quietly out of New York Harbor. Deep in her cargo hold lay something valuable, something volatile. 1,700 barrels of commercial-grade alcohol, consigned to a company in Genoa, Italy. Pure industrial spirit, sealed in oak barrels and stacked carefully below decks. Alcohol that could ignite. Alcohol that could expand in heat, in pressure, in the wrong conditions, and become something no one wanted to think about. But that morning, the sky was clear. The wind was favorable. The sea was calm. Captain Briggs stood on deck, watching the coastline of New York grow smaller and smaller, until it was nothing but a thin gray line on the horizon. Below him, Sarah had laid Sophia down for her morning rest, the child swaying gently with the rhythm of the ship, already half asleep. The crew numbered 7, all experienced, all handpicked by Briggs himself, men he trusted. Everything looked perfect. Everything felt safe. And as the Mary Celeste disappeared beyond the horizon that morning, no one standing on that harbor could have known. No one watching her sails grow small in the distance could have imagined that Benjamin Briggs would never return. that Sarah would never finish another letter, that little Sophia would never again feel solid ground beneath her feet. Not one of the 10 souls on board would ever be seen again. The Atlantic received them quietly and kept its answer to itself. In the next episode, another ship finds her, drifting, silent, empty. Everything left behind, as though 10 people simply vanished into the air.